Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. About 2 more minutes and we will get started. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats and we'll go and we'll get started here. As a reminder, we would ask that you put your phones on silent mode or at least drop the volume a little bit. And we'll go ahead and get started and begin the award ceremony. Thank you all for coming. This is a very exciting time to have everybody here in the same room. Gives us a chance to thank and acknowledge and show appreciation for the volunteers and others in this association that make it run. A little bit earlier this week, Sean, the executive director, mentioned that about 8% or so of the members are official volunteers. Now, he gave a raw number, but I turned it into a percent, and I think that's pretty good. At 8%. But if you add in the yellow hats, sort of a temporary volunteer group, that ups the number even more. And then if you thank each and every one of the presenters that presented at this year's conference, that number is probably closer to 10%. And I think that's a pretty impressive number. So if you're a presenter, I'm not going to make you stand up because you're already eating your food and there's nothing wrong with that. But go ahead and just raise a hand. If you presented this year, go ahead and raise your hand. And the rest of us, let's give them a hand. Pretty hard to have a conference without actual presentations. So this is the 32nd conference that we've held, but giving awards at the end closing ceremony and the closing dinner here has not always been a thing. In 2001, the Critical Link Award was first given out. And then in 2010, the Community Service Awards began. And in between, we've had some smattering of other awards here and there, and they've come and gone. But we're sort of settling into a group that we find pretty good. Go ahead and eat if you need to, but you do have, as a reminder, I think some cards on your table if you need them, if you have a dietary restriction. you'll be able to tell the wait staff that so you can get the correct meal when they do bring that main item. But first, to get started, we're just going to have a little something so you can go ahead and enjoy your salad, a little video slideshow showing some of the Where Are You Wednesday winners. If you like the Facebook page of the association, every Wednesday you'll see a post saying, hey, where are you this Wednesday? And we ask that you post a picture and get your friends to see if they like it. And then we give out a little award that you're the winner. Mostly bragging rights, but you do get a little swag as well. So we'll go ahead and watch that video of some of these fun Where Are You Wednesdays. And if you have not yet liked the ACT page, go ahead and do that right now. I think that it was our first alpaca to ever win, or I'm not exactly sure what it was, or a goat. But pretty fun event. If you like the association Facebook page, every Wednesday we put that out. We'd love to have you share some pictures with you. It's funny to see what our colleagues are doing in the field each day. One of the groups of people that make this conference really go off without a hitch and give us some very real financial support are the folks that do sponsorships. And I'd like to just thank them right now, give them a thanks as well. The first one is Aerial Adventure Tech. They were kind. Yeah, thank you, Aerial Adventure Tech. They were kind enough to do a banner ad as well as be a digital sponsor. The folks at Challenge Towers. We made it to the Thursday after hours reception. That was courtesy of them. I thought that was a pretty fantastic event, so thank you for that sponsorship. The folks at Experiential Systems. Also a digital sponsor, an important part of the financial success of this conference. And the folks at Granite Insurance. Four-time sponsor. They were the sponsor of the registration desk, the lanyard sponsor, the after-hours reception at the bowling alley, and the operations management session track sponsor. And also thanks to Ropes Park Equipment and Outdoor Ventures. We saw them with the app splash screen sponsor and the technical session track sponsor. So thanks to all of our sponsors who really make an important financial contribution to this organization. We do thank them. Now, one of the things about this conference that is particularly fun, I think, and went really well this year, great crowd, was the ACT Olympics. And I know what you're thinking, who was the winner of the ACT Olympics? Well, like all Olympics, we do have, well, not gold medals, not even bronze or silver, they are wood. and we'll take the best we can get. So I'm going to invite our ACT Olympics MC up here, Eric Barter, to tell us who is the winner.
Wow, that was quite an event. How many of you participated in that event? Put your hands up. Nice. You spread out all over the place. Cool. How many of you watched the event? Put your hands up. Cool. How many of you are actually watching the current Winter Olympics that's going on somewhere in China? Yay! All right, on the count of three, not yet, in a moment, you're going to think about your favorite sport in the Winter Olympics. On the count of three, I want you to yell it out as loud as you can. Ready? Think about it. Take a moment. Favorite winter sport in the Winter Olympics, not the ACT one. On the count of three, holler it out. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, yeah, that's fine too. Right on. All right, I got the envelope, please. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll put out the piece of paper. I'll fold it up. All right, this was the 217th version of the ACCT Olympics. It went off without it wasn't? You sure? Am I close? This was some number of the ACCT Olympics, not the 200 whatever it was, but it was an excellent one. We had a lot of fun. We played some new games and tried some new things that looked really silly. I do not know how this was scored. I have a piece of paper with a lot of numbers on it and some names on it. So I've got it down for the final three. I didn't, but somebody did. All right, number three, your third place winner of the ACCT Olympics this year was the white team, the 4. Come on up, get your award. Come along, come along. Well done. Yeah, third place. Yep, third place. What do we got? Wood cookies this year? Those are pretty cool. It's like outdoor school. I'm gonna take you back to summer camp. Yeah, put them on, put them on. There you go. Get a photo.
That's okay.
There we go, there we go. Nice. Now you got it? You get your picture? Good, thank you. Hey, give me a hand. All right, second place team. I'm not too sure how this ended up this way, but I'm pretty sure it had something to do with an airplane throw. Well done, Team ESI. In the orange, wearing orange. Well done. Come on up, Team ESI, get your wood cookies. That's kind of slow for being second place.
You have a recount?
Nope. The recount is probably number 4.
Never mind.
Okay, take what you got.
I don't know. What do you do?
You're supposed to hold your medal up.
There we go.
All right. Where's the
All right. Really excited about this. We're waiting for the very big one. We did have a final showdown mid-off with Billy Simpson and Michelle Cummings. They both said, Michelle, I don't know if you'll Michelle is still not maybe. Instead of ranking the you hackers on that thing. They're both coming back next year to go tag team against each other against the largest mid-off ever. First place. 2022 ACCT Olympics. The big eight. I'll put it on. What about JT?
So I'll accept that for them. I was the manager. Not at all.
All right.
But I'll make sure they get them.
All right. All right. I will see you all next year for the next Olympics. Let's be hiring in Portland, Oregon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to bring up a very good friend and amazing human being, and a fabulous year. This is Carson, perfect.
Thanks, Eric. That was quite the intro there, but it'll be in the return. I just want to take a minute Yeah, just taking that minute. I don't know if that's what we're cheering about, but I'm taking it. And I would just ask if we could, I know everybody's having a great time enjoying themselves, but maybe just kind of be thoughtful and respectful of being here to recognize us. I'm just sure you hear this stuff. But I wanted to introduce you to some of our staff that make this association run, and they do such an amazing job. We've got an incredibly talented staff. I'm not going to go through in whatever order I look out here to see it first. But we have one staff member who is our program director, program manager, whatever we call him, who does an amazing amount of work. I don't know if you have any idea how many different programs we're familiar with. We have a million programs that we operate and run. Operation certification, vendor certification, and program certification, on and on and on. And this staff member has been just her amazing amount of energy on this all year long. This Heather Brooks, please hand. We have another staff member here who is our office manager, who, if you call in the ACCT, you're likely to talk to. If you at home have personal IT needs, I would recommend calling him. He's available 24/7. And he loves to help everybody with all their problems. He is really an amazing person to keep all this stuff going, to make presentations like this go off seamlessly, to help manage and deal with our leadership and keep the admin system going, and so much more. Mr. John Bowman. Thank you. We have one other full-time staff member present tonight who also does a mind-blowing amount of work every year. She has been with us for, I'm not even sure how many years now. I don't think I can put that on my hands and count, but can I still get it on like 9 years? Okay. She says 9. It feels like a lot longer than that because the amount of work that's gotten done in 9 years is enough for a career, I'll tell you that. But it is a staff member that puts on this event every year and manages an incredible team of folks to do that, and deals with an unbelievable amount of challenges, and hurdles along the way, and jumps every one of them with grace every time. Just Elizabeth. Our last full-time staff member is not present. He wanted me to share that it's not because he doesn't love you all and care about you, but our executive director is not here. He is having a major surgery this upcoming week on his shoulder, and kind of going home and get prepared for that. But hopefully you will have a chance to overlap and spend some time with him this week. And as many of you know, if not all of you know at this point, Sean has announced that he is departing us this spring. So we've had 6 years under his leadership, his stewardship of the association. He has laid a fantastic foundation for a new executive director to come in. And I thank him for all of his time and energy and our work together and our friendship. Sean has been a great asset to us for the last 6 years. So even though he's not here, let's give him a round of applause. We also, at the association, have some part-time staff members that we utilize for our administrator review process at our vendor accreditation program. Not all of them are here tonight. 2 of them are, 2 of them aren't. But these folks spend a lot of time going out and reviewing our vendors and helping to go through that process. It's a lot of detailed work, but very important work. Those 4 folks are Charles Peterson, Jeff Bokey, John Turman, and Micah Henderson. John and Micah stand. Matt, our wonderful MC, has already mentioned this a little bit this evening, but obviously this association is very volunteer driven and can't do the work without all volunteers. We have numerous committees, panels, work groups, affinity groups, folks that are just out there stirring up trouble, but in a great way. But a lot of folks that spend their time and energy contributing to this association. And I know Matt said he wasn't gonna make a stand up, but I'm not that nice. If you're a volunteer in this association, you're part of a committee, a panel, a work group, anything like that, that you do work for this association, if you can please stand and take a little love from the crowd here. Many of these folks that you see around you right now have been volunteering for 20 years or more. It's a pretty amazing legacy for you folks. Thank all of you for what you do. It was an honor to be able to present all these folks to you, and thank you for the work that you do. I'll be introducing our board of directors to you in a few minutes, but not yet. Right? We'll get to kind of take special recognition of that crew. But right now, I'm going to hand the microphone over to Alyssa and the staff to thank some other folks and start taking part.
I just want to take a minute and recognize some really critical volunteers to the success of this conference. I'd like to thank our presenters. If any of you were presenters at this conference this year, we're going to be presenters for our virtual conference in 2021. I would like to have you stand. That was a interesting little roller coaster ride we all went on together, and I want to make sure you guys get acknowledged for all the efforts and time that you put into those things. The next group of people that I would like to recognize, I think everyone at this event has had an opportunity to interact with in some capacity, and that is our yellow hats. If you have been a yellow hat in the 2021 virtual conference as a moderator or in any capacity, I'd also like to acknowledge your efforts there. So if you were a yellow hat for the 2021 virtual conference or for our 2022 in-person conference, and those vote in, please move. Thank you guys so much. As all of you know, this conference would not be possible without all of the volunteers that support me and this association all along the way. I'd like to take a minute to thank some really special people to me. These people have become my tribe, my family. Working remote, you don't go into an office, you don't get to interact daily with somebody at the coffee pot or at the water station or any of those kinds of things. But this group of people I have had the opportunity to work super closely with. Some of these people during virtual conference, I literally sat on Zoom with for more than 8 hours a day, more than 5 days a week. We had calls several times a week, sometimes more than once a week this year, because in planning a conference in the middle of the pandemic, you know, things change for everybody, but they change speed for this group. I'm a staff person. I can navigate those waters, the amount of time that the conference workers gave up of their personal time to make changes to things that were constantly changing every single day. I didn't even thank them. So first, I'd like to thank my digital coordinator, Tyler Quackenbush. Our exhibit hall liaison, Jessica Bird-Brown, who unfortunately was not able to be with us this year, but contributed immensely throughout any process, and it's been great. As well as Alex Delaney. My workshop coordinators. So many of you know that these folks put in above and beyond the amount of time throughout the year. Of course, during the pandemic, there's a lot of the load was kind of put in their lap to make sure that the virtual conference was a success, considering the majority of what happened in that virtual platform was the educational piece that you guys all received. The full conference work group certainly stepped up and they served in producer roles and in many different capacities from afar. But the workshop crew are folks that I meet with twice a week for multiple hours, sometimes long days, and they do a lot of extra. I'm gonna make sure that I recognize these folks. Alexis Beckle-Webb, Elizabeth Anderson, members of the conference work group this year are Cole, and Bill, and Sam Padu, who has served on the conference work group for several years. He ended up taking a job outside of the industry that kind of pulled him away from his volunteer time with the work group, so he has stepped down. But he did that kind of mid-year, so I want to make sure we acknowledge that there's people working towards this conference as well. Our registration coordinator is Steve Martin. And our registration coordinators from ACCT, I can handle the registration process with grades this year. There were a lot of changes to the system that we put in place for checking folks in, and there was a lot of extra detail that needed to be tended to at the registration desk. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Next, we have our special projects coordinators. These are kind of our jack of all trades, Jill of all trades roles within the conference work group. These guys help us out and fill in a lot of gaps where we just need some extra support. They help with all of the special programming that we do throughout the conference. And they just are really great guys that just step in wherever we need them to. Jason Rose. And Rob Armstrong. Also, really good guys and soloists during our virtual conference. So hit them up for some drink recipes. And last but certainly not least for the conference workers, I'd like to recognize the service coordinators. These folks are the leaders who are yellow hats. They help us with filling in all of the little details, service ambassadors, and affectionately known as our conference concierge. Lee Carew. And Karina. We are excited to acknowledge our partners of HP and Global who help us and support us throughout the entire year with all of the conference logistics, handling registration, building out the platform, responding to phone calls, emails, all of the questions that you guys had regarding what the COVID protocols were, making sure that we got in touch with you guys as quickly as we possibly could, given all of the circumstances, and just helping us navigate planning an event in the middle of a pandemic as well. They assisted us with some renegotiations that needed to happen. They assisted us with just so many things, and I can't thank you guys enough. Angie Spearman. Laura. And she was with us earlier in the week and had to get back home. Thank you guys so much for being to do the job that we do without any of you. All right, I'm going to turn it over to a quick video from Sean, our executive director, kind of introducing our community service course that the staff are going to be doing in just a moment.
Hey, everybody, Sean Tierney, ACCT Executive Director. My apologies for not being at the award ceremony this evening. It's always been one of my favorite parts of the conference. I'm not able to be there, unfortunately, this evening, so I'm pre-recording this. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Community Awards. The Community Awards, also known as the CSA, is a staff-given award to volunteers who have really gone above and beyond the call of duty, so to speak, provided exemplary service to the association through their dedication, commitment in volunteering. It's a true act of service. And the Community Service Award is, like I said, provided by staff for those who have really done an outstanding job. We have over 120 volunteers, and they all are deserving of awards, and they do a phenomenal job. But the staff award, the CSA, is really a longstanding tradition. It's been a number of years that it's been provided, and that's a great tradition for that award. So I'm going to turn it over to Melissa Webb, and she is going to provide the first Community Service Award. So take it away, Melissa.
All right. This award was actually put in place at our 2016 conference. We're going to going through a very transitional time in the association. And as John indicated, it was put in place for us to be able to recognize the volunteers to really go above and beyond to support us as a staff. So this person that I'm going to be acknowledging this evening not only went above and beyond, but sought me out. The person realized that there was a need, there was a gap, there wasn't a committee or anybody that was in place to help with a very specific thing that needed to be brought to the association, and that would help improve the conference, that would help us to be able to reach more people, to provide sessions that were appropriate for everybody in our community and gave everybody an opportunity to be educated and have something that was relevant for them at this conference. They reached out to me in concern that there were some gaps with the sessions that were being offered at the conference. And so they inquired about working directly with the workshop review task force that we have in place to help us vet sessions. The person was very, very helpful in so many ways. She basically took over a huge chunk of the vetting process and developing the forms and the intake for that, and putting systems in place for that really were not in place before. That's kind of one of the things that I think this person does best, having worked with them in many different ways. They reached out by phone, by email to various different people in our community that they thought would be the experts to have in the room on very specific topics. They reached out and inquired about past evaluations to be able to kind of see what you have shared with us. We look at all of those things. We look at evals, we certainly look through all of that, but they look at us, or they looked at those things and they said, okay, there are some gaps here. Who do we need to get in the room for these specific things? We've heard from people that we want these topics to be added into the mix, and they went after those people. And I appreciated that so much because the role that I'm in, I didn't have the time to just kind of reach out to individuals in that kind of way to get them in the room. So we collaborated and we worked really well together. We put a lot of excellent systems in place, and she helped to develop the team. She reached out to the individuals who are on her task force, communicated with them all along the way. And with all of the workshop coordinators have on their plate throughout the year, having that taken away from them was a really wonderful thing, because it was one less thing that they had to stress over during those months, but they were also very involved in that process. So she kind of came along with the group and insisted she didn't want to step on toes. She didn't want to take over the job. She wasn't in a capacity to be able to, want to be on the conference work group long term or in a full capacity. But she really wanted to help us out wherever she could. In addition to that, this person also took on and took lead of the process design task force that was implemented for the board of directors system with the executive director search. And as I said, love systems, love policies, love procedures, and like to put things in place. And so she assisted the board in kind of getting some things in place in that regard. And as a staff person, she didn't just look at the logistics, but she reached out to each of us as staff to kind of figure out what we needed in support from a leader, what would help us. We saw maybe there's some characteristics for that person to be able to help carry us to the next place as an association. And she did that with grace. She was very inclusive. She helped us to make sure that we had a variety of different people. She worked really closely with the board liaison, Shahani, in that process. And she just was an immense help to all of us in a full-on volunteer capacity. And I just had somebody that wanted to help out. She saw a need and felt that it was helpful. And she helped us in so many ways. Let's consider.
Okay. So within program does take relatively 1/3 of the association, and I have the honor and the blessing to work with at least 50 of the volunteers within the association, if not more. I like to think that I have some of the best volunteers. People will say, Heather, how do you do all this? How do you do all this? And my volunteers that I get to work with have never made any day difficult for me. They are always ready to get up and to help push things forward. So tonight I have the honor of honoring 3 different volunteers that I work with. The first one that I would like to give my award to has been such a driving force within the realm of vendor accreditation. Alicia Brewer. She's voluntold to be involved with vendor reviewer task force. And she was also, she is also the chair of the, I'm going to get this right, Vendor Accreditation Program Design Task Force. But Alicia has been the driving force even after having a job in major years. We have continued locations of local meetings, and she has done such an amazing job. Really, has been such an amazing hand. And I could not do it. But there is a lot within better design task force that will not be moving forward right now. Okay. So the next one, and when I say her name, she's gonna look at me and she's gonna shake her head. But I do make sure that not only program volunteers, but there are times where we have volunteers that come over from the tire group. This volunteer hasn't been tired, but also came over and helped us with the Universal Portfolio Task Force. She also helped us with the Vendor Reviewer Task Force. She did a technical review for the program. And she is not one that would not give me like any and all of the feedback that I could possibly ask for how to make the programs better. So Jackie Harris. Thank you and all of you that she has not done much this year, but the work that she has done has been substantial with moving a lot of the programs forward as well. And I do have to say that I work hard, but that's something work 5 times harder than what association. So I do want to thank you for all the work that you've done for the programs and for helping me success. Thanks. Okay, my last one is from the inspector certification panel. Now, the inspector certification panel has gone leaps and bounds, I would say, in the last year and a half. And this next individual, I actually had the honor of meeting at my very first pre-conference, at my very first conference, like years and years ago. And I walked into that room and he was the first one to greet me, the first one to make me feel welcome. And now I get to work with him in the inspector certification panel. Bodie. Shout up and say, I got you. How can I help you? And I'm constantly telling him how much I appreciate him on the work that he's been doing. So I appreciate everything that he's done this year and everything he's been on the panel.
Hello. I don't work with quite as many volunteers as Heather. I have a few staff work groups is where they fall with me, and I'm a liaison for them. But when the question was asked, who has really helped you and who has really helped the association this year, one name popped into my mind right away. They have taken work off of my plate personally, but they've also helped put a good face forward for the association and jumping into the new chair role of the PR and marketing committee. I'd like to bring up Matt Marcus. Steve.
Sorry.
Next, I'm going to welcome our observer back up to the stage to recognize our current and outgoing board members.
Echo my appreciation to the folks that just came. I had no idea who was going on this board. Every one of those incredibly well deserved. So let's give them another round. So we talked about how amazing this group of volunteers in this association is, but there is a group that I work most closely with. And because I have a microphone, I get to spend a little extra time recognizing them. And this is the group that I work in with constantly. These are the folks that I go to with the things that I can't talk to anybody else about. These are the people that I can call up any time and work on things together. We meet all the time. We argue constantly, but we respect each other and we get a lot done. And it's a pleasure to serve with this group of folks. As you know, every year at conference time, we kind of switch over the board. And so I'm going to kind of bring up the board that's been working together up to this point, and then kind of recognize those folks, and then we'll let you know who's kind of joining us for the next go around. So, again, I'm Parks and Rivers, I'm the chair of the board. We have Rohan Shahani on up. Rohan is our vice chair. He serves as vice chair and liaison to leadership and nominations. We have Cameron Annis, who is our treasurer and liaison to finance, which you have no idea how much work this guy right here is. Both of these guys, Cameron and finance, this year getting through COVID and all that, has been a big heavy lift. Yeah. He's got his fan club over here. Yeah, they let him out on the work release program. They're a good group. They're good people. We've got Corey Hampton, our secretary. Liaison to accreditation and certification. And I don't know if y'all saw how fast her fingers were flying during the AGM the other day, but it's pretty amazing the amount of work she has to do. We have Bauman Azar, who's not with us tonight. He needed to go home to deal with some family matters, but we had him on the board now for 5 years. He is liaison to insurance risk management. We have Billy Simpson. Come on up, Billy. Billy is our liaison to the newly renamed Compliance Committee, formerly known as Ethics Committee. We have Connor James. Come on up, Connor. Connor is the liaison to the Critical Working Group. And Connor came on, this is his first year on the board. He's been an outstanding asset for us and jumped right into the consensus group, which I don't know if y'all are confused at times about how all that works. And Connor had to jump in and figure that out. Kind of his first year, he's done an excellent job. Really appreciate him jumping in with us. Keith Jacobs. Keith, as you know, has been volunteering with the association for longer than I've been around the association. Has brought a lot to the table. He is the chair, the liaison to the International Committee. And then we have Victor Guy. Victor is the liaison to the Technical Information Research Education Higher Committee. And then, as you know, Sean Tierney serves with us on the board as a non-voting member. But this board that has worked together to figure out how to get us back here, along with all the other volunteers that made this possible. There has been a lot of long, hard conversations about how to bring this association through the last couple of years. And I want to really thank these folks for all that they've done. If you would, join me around. Billy, behind you, somewhere on the table, there's 2 flags. And these are just a couple of little pieces of our appreciation for the 2 folks that are rolling off. I want to recognize that Victor Gaia and Cameron Annis have completed their term and ready to release back to the, they finished a 3-year term with us, and we're so grateful for their service. Rohan Shahani Sanamasabi has also just finished a 3-year term, but he has run again and won re-election to the board, so he'll be with us. Yeah. Real campaign, he says. But no, we're very grateful for Rohan. And I want to invite a couple more folks up here with us just to kind of recognize the new board. So we have the elections, as I mentioned, Rohan is rejoining us. Eric Martyr. The other Karen on the PBL election. And we'll be bringing all of his energy and Hawaiian shirts into our boardroom for the coming 3 years at a minimum. And last, I'm not able to join tonight, but the winner of our general membership category is Mr. Jason Ong. And I believe we're trying to figure out how to get him up on the screen. He is joining us from Malaysia right now. And Jason, Ong, you're out there. You can feel the appreciation for putting your name out there. I joined this board. I'm pretty sure he's out there listening to us. We're excited to have him. One more round for this whole board. Really appreciate everything that you do. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I think you made it onto the webcast.
Excellent, excellent. All right. I'm going to kind of start this next little slide here. And as is planned, I'm going to invite Tom Leahy to come on up. It's a pleasure to introduce him to you. And Tom is the coordinator of the Critical Link Award, and this is kind of a special time for us to enjoy every year. I'll turn it over to Tom.
Got it. Okay. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Cool, cool. Team breath. Hey, I just want to ask at this point, the award we're about to give is like the penultimate award that ACT gives. And what I'd like to invite people to do is if you need to continue a conversation, we'd ask you to take the conversation out to the hall. But otherwise, if you stay here with us, your silence is your respect on those ones. So, team breath, everyone. Cool. Thank you very much. Good evening. My name is Tom Leahy, and it's my honor to be the coordinator of the Critical Link Award. This award is the highest honor presented by the professional vendors of ACT. The Critical Link Award was created in 2002 by Cindy Walker, one of the fabulous women of Cindy was my mentor and hooked me up with certification and this award and some other stuff. So she's a great mentor and really sarcastic as well. So, but she's retired now. I'm sure she sends her love this way. But in my experience, women of ACT, the fabulous women of ACT, have always significantly and consistently influenced the direction, tone, and success of this organization. Cindy is a past winner of this award, and along with a long list of others, it's many still active in the association. And just before I hand off for the award, we'll ask the previous winners to come up and at the bottom of the stage. We kind of have a receiving line tradition. So ACT is a volunteer organization and the result of the effort of an astounding number of people. These people give their time without compensation, travel great distances with minimal or no reimbursement, give energy that otherwise would go to advance their own careers and businesses. And for the past 2 years, this long, strange trip we've all been on, sit for hours and hours on Zoom screens to keep things moving. Who learned to do Zoom this year? Good stuff. That's all? The intent of this award is to honor an individual who has served the organization by creating and maintaining critical links to activities within and external to ACT, and in promoting the mission and evolution of ACT. The award is given each year as a thoughtful and sincere thank you to a single member who has gone above and beyond over a long period of time. Sometimes the winner is a person whose role in the association is highly visible, and sometimes they work very quietly and steadily behind the scenes. This award is not a popularity contest or given just because someone met the expectations of an officer of the board or a committee member. From my observation over the years, we will never run out of individuals deserving of this recognition. There's a long list, and sooner or later, we'll get to you. The selection process for this award deserves a bit of description. Each fall, the professional vendors are asked to nominate individuals they feel deserve this accolade. Nominating ballots are sent confidentiality to the executive director and to the award coordinator. A winner requires the nomination from 50% plus one of the number of current professional vendors. After an initial count of the ballots, and if there is no initial winner, a list of the nominees and the votes is sent to the past winners committee. So all the previous professional critical link winners are part of this committee. The committee follows a few simple tenets: longer service, significant contribution in multiple areas, and high quality integrity of contribution. The committee considers the nominations and votes uses ranked choice voting. If you haven't checked it out, I would Google it. It's really cool. This is a fascinating system for decision-making that quickly establishes consensus. And in each of the years since we moved to ranked choice voting, the choice of the winner has been abundantly clear. There is no question who wins that award in the year. It's a neat process. Our tradition is for the winner of the previous year to make the presentation for this year's. So where's Eric? So in a moment, but not yet. With the previous winners come up and we stand in front here for a along the line here. You stay. You are. But any previous winners here? I know there's a few. Micah's here. Yeah, Michelle, Randy. Previous winners, come on up. Now, last year's presentation was virtual, as was the conference, and I just take just a moment to the people who pulled off the virtual last year. Well done, well done. You got us together. So, and I got to take a moment to just simply say thanks for getting us back together again. The band is back. Thank you. So last year's presentation was delivered virtually. So please join me to welcome to this stage for the very first time the 2021 winner of the Critical Link Award, Brian Lissick.
Fish out the I didn't declare that at the border. I said, are you bringing anything with you? Yeah, sorry. It was all sarcasm. Good evening. I'm just getting my notes. Here we go. I am honored to introduce tonight's recipient of the Critical Link Award. There is so much to say about the accomplishments of tonight's recipient. The influence of the work of this individual in our association and industry is significant. I suspect that almost everyone in this room who has attended a conference, a pre-conference, or a PBM symposium has attended a presentation given by this person. Tonight's recipient has worked in all aspects of the challenge course industry. This person is equally comfortable handling a swage press, a tensiometer, or a rubber chicken. They have been a facilitator, having worked with all kinds of groups, including schools, camps, youth at risk, corporate clients, and Olympic athletes. They're a qualified designer, lead installer, inspector, operation reviewer, and trainer tester at all levels. Behind the scenes, this person is a tireless worker for this association, having been a member of the review committee, now called the Vendor Accreditation Panel, the Design Performance and Inspection Standards Committee, and chair of the Universal Portfolio Task Force, and currently sits on the Technical Information Research and Information Committee, as well as many of its task forces. This person is a regular technical reviewer for a professional vendor member accreditation program. This person has participated in government relations initiatives on behalf of this association by drafting white papers and advocating with regulators in multiple jurisdictions and multiple countries. In addition to the incredible amount of time this person puts into this association, she also finds time to contribute to various organizations in her home country of Canada, including the Council of Outdoor Educators of Ontario, the Ontario Physical Health Education Association, as well as provincial camping associations. It was inevitable that she would become a challenge course professional, having been first introduced to ziplining and climbing by her father at a young age. She is the only person I know who learned of my generation who learned to belay from her father. This was the thing, right? We would go out and learn from other people, but she learned to belay at home. And we actually, in our office, have a piece of the gold line stretch rope from some of those early belay lessons. Her outdoor skills continue to be developed through her participation in Ukrainian scouting. In 1998, I made one of the best decisions I ever made as an employer and hired her to join our team at AdventureWorks as a program facilitator. And she has subsequently worked in every aspect of our organization and now serves as the Vice President of Challenge Course Services. She holds bachelor degrees in outdoor recreation and science from Lakehead University, a master's degree in recreation administration from Aurora University, and a PhD in recreation, parks, and tourism from Texas A&M. She is literally the only person I know who is both a doctor and a licensed mechanic. Ziplines, of course. As a self-described recovering academic, tonight's recipient has participated in multiple research and testing projects, which have included both the testing of things and research into what goes on with the people. She has investigated the dynamics of rescue systems, belay devices, ensure reduction devices, and most significantly, her doctoral dissertation entitled Meaningful Involvement in Ropes Course Programs serves as the basis for her Inviting Optimum Participation, or IOP, model. She's been a reviewer for multiple journals, including the Journal of Experiential Education, and is the former editor of the Ontario Journal of Outdoor Education. Most recently, she's one of the co-authors of the textbook Aerial Adventure Environments, which probably many of you use.
I like to say she literally wrote the book. In addition to her many professional talents, she is also multilingual, speaking several languages, including metric and imperial. She additionally speaks English, French, Ukrainian, and a bunch of other languages, and she can often be heard in our office speaking 2 languages simultaneously, while conversing on the phone with family members in a blended language that we like to call in the office Ukrainian. Besides her obvious work ethic, intelligence, and drive to improve systems, throughout her career, she continues to be a champion for inclusion. This is probably the thing I value most about her. It can be really hard to get through the end. She's been a pioneer in strategies for universal access and challenge for design and programming. She's been a champion for the inclusion of our non-US based members in the ACCT by ensuring that our standards reflect the needs of jurisdictions and members outside of the United States and North America. She has traveled on behalf of the association many times to Asia on several occasions to participate in PVM reviews and provide inspector certification prep courses. And she continues to act as a resource for the International Committee. Tonight's recipient has made a positive impact on so many of us in this association. But in particular, she's a role model and mentor for so many women in this association. It seems natural, having been taught and mentored by 2 of experiential education's pioneering women, Rita Yurkes and Camille Bunting. Tonight's recipient of the Critical Link Award continues to fracture the glass ceiling in so many areas of our industry and association. She is often one of the only, or at least one of the few women in the room, whether at a work at height certification, a zipline mechanic exam, or the International Technical Rescue Symposium. This has always been true. Kathy's there, not very many other women. In this association, she was not only the first woman to chair the design performance inspection standards, but it appears she was actually the first woman to actually ever be a member of it. As a lead installer last year, she built what we think is the first high challenge course built by an all-woman crew. She's been one of the founders of the History of Women in Act initiative and has been a catalyst for the development of the Women in Act affinity group. As her co-worker, I've had the privilege of working alongside her for almost 45 years. Each and every day I learn something new, and every day I'm challenged. The bar is always high. I am honored to present to you the 2022 recipient of the Critical Link Award, my friend, my co-worker, my dear friend, Dr. Kathy Harris.
Deep breath. Wow. Okay, I'm supposed to pick up the mic. This is good?
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, okay. I've just been informed that my family might be watching on video. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. It'll be okay. I was not expecting this. I really don't know what to say. This is really hard. There's no PowerPoint behind me. Thank you. This has been lovely. This is fun. Everything is fun. Yes, everyone needs a hobby. This is mine. There are lots of people to thank. I don't think I can do that off the top of my head, so I'll send you an email.
One more thank you for Kathy. My favorite part of the night. It's pretty awesome. Such a good crew of people in this association. So we've been here, we had a bunch of sessions today, ended a little bit early, we had an entire day of sessions yesterday. But if you didn't know, there was also sessions the day before and folks that have been here the entire week. And of course, we're all in the room right now, but during the actual conference, you're in a session or you're here or you're there and you don't know exactly what's happening every place else and all the multiple things that happen during this conference. So we had some folks that volunteered to take pictures and we put together a little slideshow so you can see what else was happening while you were doing other things. for a program in this community here in Cleveland that provides shoes and clothes for some kids that need the help to be able to help stay in school. We do have a little bit of video here to show about that program. If you could, I'm not asking for $1,000. How about $3? Can you give $3?
Got a few other things for you. I'll let you open it up, okay? What do you got in there?
I'm gonna pull it out.
Yes, please.
Cool.
Oh, two?
Nice.
I can wear these at a party.
Dad used to jog at the Central Y, and he would see kids after school, and in the cold weather, they frequently didn't have adequate clothes or shoes. He saw that, and he decided to take action and do something.
Oh, there's more. Roller, glue, another pair of glue, another pair of glue.
We see kids who are coming in where, have been evicted from their homes, they've lost their uniforms, and so being able to provide everything that they need when they walk in really makes that kid feel like, you know what, someone cares.
Like this. I like these. I love my red folder because I love it.
What do you think about when you're getting dressed in the morning?
I think about wearing something that's warm and comfortable.
I think about what do people think about what I'm wearing.
What do you want people to think?
That my clothes are cool and look awesome.
When I don't have new clothes, I'd be a little bit nervous about school. You can easily get bullied if you don't wear something good.
If I have to go to work today and I have a big stain on my shirt, I'm probably going to avoid interacting with people. So imagine translating that to a kid.
Every kid deserves a chance to reach their full potential, and you can't do that if you don't have a clean shirt on your back and new shoes to wear.
Feeling good about what you have on, what you're wearing, it definitely entails how your day is going to start and end.
Shoes and Clothes for Kids has innovated itself, has continually grown to successfully impact the community in a positive way.
When you think about their history of how they have changed with the times, but they still stuck to their vision of their founders, it's amazing.
So many generations have come through this program. I think he would be very pleased and very proud, and that's his legacy.
Kids living in poverty is nothing that should be a reflection on them. It is their circumstances, and I think to be able to remove that and take that away is so important. And it's our obligation to do so.
Thank you for this present.
Oh gosh, fair enough. ACT.givesmart.com. ACCT. Folks, we did have one question of where to give. Again, it was ACCT.givesmart.com. If you want to make a donation to the school kids here in Cleveland, ACCT.givesmart.com. It's also in the conference app, under the More tab, scroll to the very bottom. Thank you. Good night.
Yep. Do you want me to roll that thank you sponsors video, or do we just want to?
Oh, I totally forgot. No, roll it. Can't hurt.
I mean, there's kind of music going.
That's all right. People see it. It would help them. They'll take it.
You want me to roll it without the music?
No, just roll it.
I didn't put it in here because we added it last week.
Right. I was like, is there another thing I forgot?